in our previous session, we talked about temporary methods of birth control. Now in this session, we are going to talk about permanent methods. The permanent methods include sterilization by surgery. Sterilization by surgery. Surgical methods block gamete transport and hence prevent fertilization. There are two in this. If a male undergoes this sterilization by surgery, then we say it is vasectomy. Look at the diagram. Here the surgeon will make an incision in the vasectomy, and because the two testicles, pair of testicles, and the surgeon has to perform surgery on both the sides so that the sperm can be prevented entry. Since there is a surgery being performed in the tube-like structure called vas deferens, this is vasectomy. So remember, vasectomy is a surgical method to prevent conception. It is a method of birth control. And other one is tubectomy, and this will be done in a female. Why it is called tubectomy? Fallopian tube. Look at this. This is fallopian tube, and you know it. In a female, in a matured female, there is left and right ovaries. So the ovary during ovulation, 14th day roughly, ovulation takes place and the ova starts traveling, and by the time it reaches, remember, isthmus junction, ampullary isthmus junction, and starts traveling, reaches the uterus. So to prevent the fertilization here, now there is a surgery performed here on both the sides, left as well as right. So the surgeon has to perform surgery on both the left side of the fallopian tube and right fallopian tube also. So it is, since the tube, fallopian tube, is having an incision or a surgical cut, it is called tubectomy. In vasectomy, a small part of vas deferens is removed or tied up. It can be tied up also through a small cut on the scrotum, while in tubectomy, a small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small cut in the abdomen or through vagina. Both vasectomy and tubectomy are very effective, but their reversibility is very poor. We cannot undo this. Very difficult to do this. Hence, these are surgical methods and they are permanent methods. Next, we go on to MTP. What do you mean by MTP? Sometimes in exams you will be asking you, CBSE exam, expand MTP, medically or medical termination of pregnancy. Pregnancy is terminated through medication. Hence, it is called MTP. So it is intentional or voluntary termination. Sometimes it is voluntary, sometimes it is intentional. Of pregnancy is called MTP, or it is also called induced abortion. 45 to 50 million MTPs will take place in every year worldwide. So that's a phenomenon. And what is the intention or aim of this? This is to decrease population. And there is a legality in this. What is the legality? It should be done. This method is of course safe, and it should be done within the 12 weeks, or we say first trimester. And afterwards, there is a lot of risk involved. Though Government of India, through its 1971 Act, has made it, has legally allowed it up to 28th week of pregnancy. But then it depends on the gynecologist who is performing this, and the gynecologist feels that it is essential and the mother has to be saved, or there is some problem, gynec problem to the mother, So it depends on the gynecologist, and gynecologist, on the recommendation of gynecologist, then up to 28 weeks this can be done, but with a lot of risk. So the safe one is first trimester. And of course, in villages, you must have heard, you must have seen in TV, you must have read in newspapers, there are quacks, means duplicate doctors, acting as doctors without any qualification. They perform such risky surgeries and make both the mother and the child die. So you need to educate people, and it is illegal and unsafe, and as I said, it leads to death. Hence, these are to be avoided through counseling. So there is a lot of responsibility on all of us, on all the biologists. And of course, in places like Haryana and in some other Rajasthan, in some states, you heard that the misuse of amniocentesis. Remember, I said amniotic fluid will be surrounding the growing embryo, and in that amniotic fluid, chromosomes will be floating, and illegally the injection will be inserted, and amniotic fluid will be taken, sucked out, and analyzed for the presence of XX and XY chromosomes. If unfortunately XX chromosome is there, then female feticide is taking place, and this is a sort of forced abortion, and that's illegal. So there is good intention of MTP. What is the good intention? If there is a risk for mother, then MTP should be done. If there is any deformity in growing baby, then it can be done. If there is any physiological, anatomical errors that lead to possible death of the mother and baby both, then on the recommendation of the gynecologist, MTP can be done. But unfortunately, there is a minus side of it also, negative side. What is the negative side? Amniocentesis and MTP. Hence, there has to be a lot of counseling to be done in the society. And then one of the side effects of unprotected intercourse is STD, sexually transmitted diseases. Again, in exams they will ask you expand STD, sexually transmitted diseases. And these diseases or infections are transmitted through sexual intercourse, unprotected sexual intercourse. And they are also called VDs, venereal diseases, and sometimes RTI, reproductive tract infections. And there are so many diseases that are identified under STD. The first one, of course, very famous one is AIDS. What is the expansion of that? AIDS, it is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and that AIDS is caused by a virus called HIV, human immunovirus. So you must expand, you are in a position to expand this. AIDS and HIV, STD, VD, venereal disease, all these in examination they will ask you to expand. And this AIDS is caused by human immunovirus, and the symptoms of AIDS include fever, laziness, lethargy, pharyngitis, weight loss, nausea, means vomiting sensation, severe headache, and it is transferred, the HIV is transmitted via semen and blood. And it's a very, very deadly disease, and as on today, there is no medicine for this, only prevention. Hence, one has to be careful. And second, hepatitis B. Again, another deadly disease, hepatitis B. It is caused by hepatitis B virus. Again, it's a viral disease, HBV. Its symptoms include fever, of course, viral fever, loss of appetite, you don't feel hungry, appetite means hunger, abdominal discomfort, nausea, vomiting sensation, fatigue, followed by jaundice. Hence, very, very deadly combination, hepatitis B. And then syphilis. Syphilis. It is caused by bacterium. Syphilis is caused by bacterium. What is the name of that? Treponema pallidum. Treponema pallidum. Symptoms of this disease are painless ulcer on the genitals, swelling of local lymph glands, skin lesions. Skin lesions means there will be eruptions on the skin, and then rashes all over the body, hair loss, and joints will be swollen, edema of the joints. Then another one, gonorrhea or gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is caused by a bacterium. It's called Neisseria gonorrhea. Neisseria gonorrhea. The bacterium lives in genital tubes, produces pus containing discharge, pain around genitalia, and burning sensation during urination. These are the symptoms of gonorrhea. So these are very dangerous one. And then genital herpes, another one. Genital herpes, again very dangerous disease, deadly disease. It is caused by another virus, herpes simplex virus. Herpes simplex virus. So it is lesions will be there, followed by clusters and painful ulcers all over the external genitalia and perineal regions. Vaginal and urethral discharge and swelling of lymph nodes are some of the common symptoms of herpes. Herpes, very dangerous one. On nerve endings, there will be lesions, there will be swellings, which will be painful, and the pain will be radiating throughout the nerve. Hence, the herpes is very, very dangerous. And then another one is chlamydiasis. Chlamydiasis. It is caused by Chlamydia trachomatis. It's an obligate intracellular pathogen. It causes trachoma, urethritis, and other diseases. And then genital warts. Warts means wound-like structures. These are caused by again another virus. It is called HPV. HPV, a new virus, very dangerous one. Human papilloma virus. Human papilloma virus. Symptoms include benign, hard outgrowths with horny surface. That's why they are called warts over the skin, and mucosal surface of external genitalia and perineal area. And then trichomoniasis. And this is caused by Trichomonas vaginalis. The parasite affects both male as well as females. In females, it causes vaginitis with yellow vaginal discharge and burning sensation characterized by foul smell. And in males, it is asymptomatic. However, at times, burning sensation occurs during urination. Now, these are the various diseases that are STD, sexually transmitted diseases. So, what is the mode of transmission? It is the sexual contact with infected person. So, one must avoid this. Sharing of injectable needles, particularly in the Northeast, this is very common. Sharing the unsterilized surgical instruments, one must be careful when we visit the clinics. Transfusion of blood from infected person to healthy person. So when we go to blood bank during accidents, in our hurry, in our emotional appearance, we don't test and we trust them, and there is a danger always. And then of course infected mother to fetus. Very unfortunate. There is no mistake of the child, but the mother is passing on. Except hepatitis B, general herpes and HIV infections, others are curable. This is the one that is good for us, positive one. Others are curable. Whatever I have given the list, they are curable. Except this, herpes and HIV, we can only prevent and control them. So STDs are very, very dangerous. Symptoms, as I said just now, I have given symptoms of each disease. These are generalized ones: itching, fluid discharge, slight pain, swelling, edema will be there. STDs remain asymptomatic in female and remain undetected for long. That is the dangerous one. In the later stage, it may lead to pelvic inflammatory disease, PID, pelvic region, waist region. Waist region will be swelling, abortion, stillbirth, ectopic pregnancy. Normally, pregnancy should take place in fallopian tube, but if it takes place other than that, then we say ectopic pregnancy. Infertility or even cancer, cervical cancer will be there, uterine cancer will be there. So, how to prevent? So there is only prevention. Remember, for AIDS and hepatitis, avoiding sex with unknown partners or multiple partners. This is a must. Always using condoms during coitus intercourse. In case of doubt, consult a doctor for early detection and getting complete treatment for diagnose disease. We should not hide anything in front of the doctor. Hence, there is a lot of responsibility on all of us being biology students, that it is our responsibility, social responsibility, that we should make the citizens of our own village, our own community, our own town to make them know about all this. Otherwise, in rural areas, how many people are getting dead because of AIDS. Hence, let's do our responsibility. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.